Good afternoon, Alliance family. Super fired up to be on this call. My name is Jake Crause, and this is my beautiful, beautiful wife, Belle. 26 years we've been married, and we're extremely excited, honored to be here with you today to be able to kind of explain to you what the Alliance is, how it works, and really how it's changed our lives over the last 4 years. And first of all, I want to take just a minute and thank you for the time that you took out of your day to come tune into this call. I know everybody's busy. We got coronavirus going on. We've got lockdowns. We've got layoffs. And I just want to thank you for getting on this call, taking the time to listen to this opportunity. Let Belle and I kind of explain to you how it's worked for us. And, welcome to the call specifically. Some of you might be on this call because your job just disappeared. Unemployment, I think the figure was 6.5 million right now. And if that's the case, my heart goes out to you. But you're on the right call right now. The Alliance is growing by leaps and by bounds. I mean, it is absolutely crazy right now. I think Andy put out yesterday yesterday, that last week was our biggest week for the entire year. So not only are we in the middle of a massive job crisis, but our company is growing and expanding, and we're hiring, and we need people. We need good people. Okay. And so I'm fired up to be a part of not just a company, but an industry that, when times are good, we're killing it. Okay. I mean, we are killing it when times are good. When times are bad, even kind of the worst they've been in a long time, we're even more full throttle. Okay. We're just like absolutely going crazy. So talk about job security. When times are good and when times are bad, the Alliance is moving forward. And I feel blessed. I actually feel like God just blessed us with this ability to still make money while everything's going on. So some of you might be on this, because you have a job. Maybe you don't necessarily like your job. You do your job, you honor your commitments. I get that, but deep down, there's something about it that you're just not really that fired up about. It could be the environment, could be the schedule, could be the people you work with or the bosses that you work for. It's just something about it that's getting under your skin and you're looking for a change. Okay. And if that's you, I'm glad you're here because as you'll see in a little while, this is something completely different than most people have ever been a part of before. So I think you can be really excited about it. I also expect that some people on this call, they might be on here because maybe they like their job. They have a great job. There's no complaints. You're an essential worker like we are. You've got a steady income, but you know that you are meant for something more. Maybe you have this deep down desire to succeed. And you know that the idea of you doing a job for the rest of your life and then just retiring for half of your pay does not sit well with you. I think I fall into that category. That is not the plan that I signed up for. So if that's you, then you're going to really like what I have to say. So I remember when I first heard about the Alliance, it was about 4 years ago. I was very happy with what I was doing. I had spent 22 years in the Army. In fact, that's where I met my beautiful wife, Belle, was just after basic training. We were in school to go become bomb disposal technicians, which is
University of Bombs and Bullets.
University of Bombs and Bullets. Okay. Just a fancy word for saying bomb squad. Okay. You see the movies, clip the red wire, don't clip the blue wire. It'll beep for 30 seconds before it blows up so you can run away in time. That doesn't happen. But that's where we met, was in bomb disposal school, and at the ripe old age of 18 years old, and fell in love. But that's been my career over the last 22 years. In fact, the first half of my career was spent doing that. And then the second, I actually got to fulfill my lifelong dream of wanting to be a pilot. I was able to apply and get accepted and became an Army pilot, flying helicopters. And I loved it. It was my lifelong dream, and I got to do that. And over the years, I worked my way up from, brand new pilot to a very elite group, special operations aviation groups called the Night Stalkers. And I had gone as high as I could possibly go, with that career. It was the pinnacle of Army aviation, and I felt really proud to be there. And I had a great mission, and I had great pay. But what I didn't have was my family. And So I was providing well for them. But out of those 22 years I spent in the Army, I was actually away from home for 6 years of that. Missed birthdays, missed anniversaries. We had 2 great kids, and I remember I missed 2 full school years. I think it was 4th grade and 2nd grade for my son, and then it was 2nd grade and kindergarten for my daughter. I missed the entire year. Those just disappeared. Poof. I mean, I was doing something important, but I was gone, and I wasn't with my family, and that broke my heart. And I knew that if I was going to do something, I was going to do something that involved my family. I knew my military time was coming to an end. I had a lot of regrets about the kind of father that I was because I was gone so much. And I knew that whatever I did, I had to have involve my family. But it also had to fulfill me. I had to feel like I had a mission in life, and I had to make great money. And I thought it was a unicorn. I thought it didn't exist. And I was getting close to retirement, and a good friend of mine, his name's Brandon Bulis. Him and I flew missions together in Afghanistan. And he's somewhat of a legend, actually, in the special operations community. In the aviation community, he was what was known as a flight lead. So when you see movies and the president sitting in the war room, and there's a video of these helicopters, flying across the screen, from drones, we're watching what's going on. He was the one that led the charge. And in fact, they even made a movie about him, about a mission that he was on. And I trusted him. We were good friends, and I trusted him. And when he told me about the alliance, it was really that trust that made me listen to more. I was a little bit skeptical. I had never thought about doing insurance, but after he told me a few things about how the alliance works and what the culture was like, some things I'm going to talk to you about here in just a couple minutes, it changed my outlook about the alliance, and it really changed our life. I'm so grateful to him that he mentioned it to me, because otherwise I don't know what we'd be doing. We'd be, flying air ambulance helicopters somewhere for $60,000 a year. I don't know, but it wouldn't be this. And now Belle and I are on a journey that we just, it's like we won the lottery almost, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about the company, and then you're going to hear from Belle. She's going to talk for a little while, but first I'm going to tell you a little bit about the company. And so one of the first questions I asked was, what is the alliance? What exactly is it? It sounds like a great name, but what is it that you do, or that we do? And I think the alliance, it has the best name of any company ever invented. Okay. It's such a descriptive name. It's the alliance. We're an alliance between some really great companies. So we have companies like Mutual of Omaha and Transamerica and Foresters, Columbian Financial Group. We have over 20 companies that Andy's our CEO, by the way. In fact, I got a picture of him right here. I'll be talking about him in a second, but he's the one who put this business together 18 years ago. And he brought together these great insurance companies, and over 20 of them, they're all A&A plus rated, fantastic companies. And it's an alliance. He brought in those companies with fantastic agents. Okay. People that we find, like you and me, people that can come in there, take these great companies and these great products, and they can go out and help families. Okay. They can help families that have asked for our help. So like I mentioned, there's over 20 of them. They're all A&A plus rated. We sell life insurance. We sell annuities. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. I didn't either. Had no idea, but I learned. Okay. So who is it that we're helping with this? What is the opportunity? Who is it that are our clients? Because I know I was concerned about, and I don't know why, but I was really concerned about who are the people that we're going to go talk to. Are these people, do they need what we want? Are they, is there a big market for what we have? Is this something that I'm going to have to, really scratch and claw to find clients? No way. In fact, there's over 300 million people in America, and 70% of them are either underinsured or don't have any insurance at all. So you look around the corner, if you're at Walmart, if you're at Starbucks, if you look around the room, and 70% of the people in that room need what you have. Okay. They need exactly what you're offering. And so the opportunity is huge. In fact, we've got people, we help seniors with things like final expense insurance. I think it's 10,000 seniors a day turn 65 years old. right? That's the baby boomer generation. We can help them. They're concerned about leaving their wealth to their family. How is it that they're going to transfer that wealth? And we have the exact tools to help them do that, whether it's protecting the nest egg that they've already got, or it could be that they just need some final expense insurance to make sure that they're not leaving a burden. Okay. We also help people with something called mortgage protection. It's just a fancy word for people that are concerned about their life insurance because they just bought a house. So we're talking to people who just turned 65. We're talking to people who just bought a home. We're talking to people who just had a baby, just got married, some life event that would cause them to be concerned about their mortality. And we've got the exact right products to help them and leave them in a better place financially than they would have been had we not come along. So the opportunity is massive. There's trillions of dollars being left. It's the biggest wealth transfer in human history, and it's happening right now. So we're in a really unique position to be able to help. Whether it's good times or whether it's bad times, it doesn't matter. People still need us. Okay. And so the opportunity is crazy and it's massive. But the question is also is how do we do it? Because, Belle and I, we were not in sales. Okay. I was military. She was military. And then she'll tell you a little bit about her story in a second, but she had never sold anything before. So how do we go from never having sold anything before to earning a living in sales? Okay. And that's the cool thing about what we have going on here. We've got this massive system. It's very much like the Army. When you join the Army, you're 18 years old, you shave your head, or they shave your head. She didn't have to shave her head. I had to shave my head. Whatever. I don't look very good bald, by the way. But they shave your head, you exit basic training as a soldier. And then 4 years later, 5 years later, you're now a leader. And then 4 or 5 years later than that, you're a leader over larger people. And there's a system that takes you from one, extreme to the other. And pretty soon you're leading people in battle. Well, it's the same way with the Alliance, except it's much, much, much faster. Much faster, okay? Don't think that it's, okay. But there's a system. There's things that Andy has provided that allows us to go out and have no experience and then be able to go out within weeks or less and be providing for our family. Okay, so some of those things are, I'm going to do my favorite first, and that is, where'd it go? Right here. Andy put together something called the Alliance Playbook, and I don't know if you can see this or not. I didn't do a fancy screen share, but if you can see this, this is our playbook. And our playbook is what do we stand for as a company? What do we stand for as a company? And it's got things on here like excellence, service, integrity, accountability, respect, okay, compassion, gratitude. These are all great buzzwords, and I resonate with them because in the military, we had a similar set of values that we lived by. And so I was familiar with that. But the very first job I ever had was at a grocery chain. And I remember the first time they pushed their corporate values across the table at me, all they wanted me to do was sign them so they could put it in my file. And the next time I saw those values was when I was in the break room and they were on the wall. It was a laminated sheet and it said, here's our corporate values. I won't say the chain. They're good. Actually, I shop there now. Great. But anyway, here is our core values. And there was a piece of gum stuck right to the core value sheet, right? And then there was some permanent marker that somebody had written some sarcastic comment about their boss on there. That was my first experience with corporate values. But then in the Alliance, Andy actually took it the extra step and wrote an entire book about how we live out our values. And that to me says a lot about what we believe as a company, because it's one thing to give lip service and it's another thing to actually write an entire book about how we're going to act as a company and how we're going to treat our clients and we're going to treat each other and we're going to love each other and we're going to have everyone's best interest at heart. And to me, that's my number one, because I want to feel good about where I work. I want to make sure that I'm around the people that have the same values that I do. And so that fired me up a lot. Andy wrote some other books and go too much into depth. I'll kind of fan them out like a deck of cards here. His first one, 8 Steps to Success. You know, we're not born business people, right? Belle and I weren't born knowing how to what our mindset needed to be a business owner. And he took care of that and said, hey, if you follow these steps, you're going to be successful. You have at least $100,000 income. And he's right. He's right. And it worked for us. The still is working for us. Okay. We're going back and reading it. The second book he wrote was The Millionaire Maker Manual. This one's good. This is like I was in the Army. I flew helicopters with huge user manuals, right? Like put switch A in position B and turn switch C, right? And this is kind of like that. This is a how to run your business from start to finish. It's got everything in here from, how do you hire people? How do you talk to your clients? How do you get referrals? Things that are important to our business. And it's like a cookbook, a user's manual. If you go through here and you follow every step, that's $1 million a year, not $1 million in 10 years or 15 years, like in other jobs. I mean, $1 million in a year. And so I'm fired up about that. And then his other book was Inside the Circle. How do you get your mind right? I don't know if you're like me. We've got a lot of outside. We got COVID going on. We've got mother-in-laws saying this, and we got family members putting this on Facebook. What can I control? Okay, everything that's in my circle is the only thing that I can control, right? And he talks about that, and it's huge because we're in sales, guys, and we get kicked in the teeth once in a while, and you got to get your mind right and figure out, okay, what's important. So I'm glad he wrote that book. I'm going to tell a quick story. I'm going to try, if you can keep track of the time, that would be great. The first time I read this, and I don't know if I've even told Andy this, but I was in Qatar. I was actually on my way to a deployment in Afghanistan. I was still in the Army, and I read this book, and it was a manuscript. It wasn't actually in this book format yet. And I remember I stayed up for 18 hours. I stayed up all through the night, and I read from start to finish, and I finished the book. And I remember thinking, this is going to change my life. It really is. And there's some weird coincidences that go along with what I'm telling you. Get with me after this, and you can ask me about it. It's a really cool story. Anyway, let's see. What else do we got? Okay. The other thing that I was concerned about was these clients, right? We know what the opportunity is. We know there's plenty of people out there that need what, but how do we get in contact with them? How do we start that conversation? Because, never being in sales before, I was concerned, could I muster up the courage to talk to somebody about life insurance? And Andy has done all the hard work. He's got a mail house in North Carolina, sends out anywhere between 500,000 and 1.2 million, I think is the statistic that I heard, mailers every single week. And they go all over the country. They go to people with those life events, like just bought a home, just got married, just had a baby, something that is causing them to be concerned about their mortality. When they get the letter, this is kind of what the letter looks like right here. You can see it's a letter. There's no, and I don't know if you can see it, but I'll read the first line to you. It says, as a recent new homeowner, you may qualify to purchase our mortgage, life, and disability coverage with no physical exam. That's the first sentence. Life insurance and purchase. So these people that fill this out, they put in their height, their weight, their smoking status. They put their spouse's height and weight, which is a sure reason to need life insurance in the first place. They sign it. They put 3 different phone numbers on it, and they send it they put it in an envelope that we give them, and they send it out to us. These people are serious. Okay. They're very serious. But not only are we doing the mailers, we're running television commercials. We've got outbound telemarketing divisions. We've got Facebook leads. We got these leads that we call them leads. They're really people that are concerned about their life insurance, but they're on Facebook. They put in their information, and 30 seconds later, their information is in our inbox, and they're saying, hey, please call us. Okay. So that part's been taken care of. And I was fired up about that because yes, we need our friends and family to be covered, but I wasn't really fired up about making a huge list. And Andy took care of it for us right there. Let's see, what else do we got going on? Well, I'm used to having people around me that are mentoring me, coaching me, helping me. In the military, that's the way it was. You had your training sergeant, training NCO, right there with you, showing you how to do the tasks. And Andy has put together something called hotspots. So not the most accurate map in the whole world as far as city locations, but you get the idea. You can see there's over 100 of these locations across the country right now. And these meetings are local places you can go to. You can get advice. You can make friends. You can get training once a week. Now, right now, okay, we're doing them on Zoom, just like this. We're not going and meeting in groups of 50 or 100, or 25, whatever the case is. We're trying to do our part, flatten the curve, that whole thing. But when this thing's over, you're going to have people in your local area that are going to be there to help you. Okay. And that was important to me. And, so there you go. That's a really fantastic resource. If you like online training, we got that too. We've got something called the Alliance University. It will walk you through, different types of products that we sell, different types of sales techniques, how to run your business. You can sit in your underwear at 3:00 in the morning, clicking through with your mouse, and you can see everything you need to know how to run this business. Okay. And it's all on demand around your schedule. Okay. Fantastic. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, one more thing. All right. Promotions. In the Army, we got promoted and it was always on a certain cycle. Okay. As a warrant officer, that's what I was. That's what most pilots in the Army are, as a warrant officer. We would come in, we would get promoted after a couple years, and then we would every 5 years, like clockwork after that, whether you worked as hard as the person next to you, or if you didn't work as hard as the person next to you, or if you did twice as much as they did, it didn't matter. It was pretty regimented promotions. I didn't really like that part because I felt like I worked pretty hard and I wanted to get promoted faster. So I was a little bit impatient. With one thing that I'm fired up with the Alliance is you can get promoted as fast as you want to. So you come in, at a 55% level, okay, but you work your way up very, very quickly, all the way up to 120%. And you can get promoted based on the amount of production that you're running. You can get promoted based on a team that you build. We're going to talk about that in a second. Either way, you can get promoted. What sets us apart from other companies is two things. Okay, and I talk to, I'm an agency manager. I talk to a lot of agents that are thinking about coming on board the Alliance. And two things really set us apart in the promotion. There's a million other things too. But in the promotions, one, you can skip levels. There's no artificial timelines. There's no every 2 months it's 5%, right? You can get promoted as fast as you want. You could jump from the bottom commission level all the way up to, let's say, 80%. And you could do that in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, however fast you want to do it. Okay. You just go out and write a lot of insurance, or you build an organization and you're going to get promoted. The other thing that is a game changer, it's a game changer when it comes to this industry, I think. And that's something called the glow bonus. Okay, the glow bonus, you can kind of see it right here. I don't know, starts at 8%, it's 1% up through 8%. It starts at the high number, which I really like. The glow bonus is kind of a game changer because if let's say you're not new to insurance, let's say you've been in the industry for a while and you're checking out the Alliance. Some of you will know that if you bring somebody on board, and we'll talk about that in a minute, if they pass you or they get to your same level and they pass you, you're going to lose that what's called override income. With the glow bonus, Andy, if you're an agency manager and you mentor someone and coach them and bring them, along, and they get up to your same level, the glow bonus kicks in. Okay, you won't lose your income from that organization. They could blow past you, they could go all the way up to $1 million a month in production, and you're always going to have that 8% glow. Okay. And that's a game changer because it changes the whole feeling of the company. Everybody wants to help each other. And it's written into our DNA that we do that anyway, just because of our values. But now we even have a more financial reason to help people get promoted faster. It fired me up. When I heard about that, I just went, boom. It absolutely blew my mind. And Andy, if you're on here, thank you so much for instituting the glow bonus. I absolutely love it. What am I missing?
Let's see, promotions, how we get paid. What do we get paid?
Oh,
we get paid.
Okay, what do we get paid? The money. So how do you make money with the Alliance? Okay, it's real simple. You know how we do it. We end up going and before COVID. If you want to check that, before COVID, you know, we get one of these leads, we give them a call, and we'd say, "Hey, I saw that you were asking for insurance. When should I come over?" And we book an appointment. We'd go out there. We would enroll them in some type of an insurance policy. We've adjusted a little bit. Really fantastic. We're able to do it remotely now. So we can talk to them over the phone. Same thing. Hey, you were looking for insurance. I'm an insurance agent. Let's talk about what getting you qualified. And you're running the appointment right there. And Belle's going to share some of her numbers here in a minute. Am I doing on time?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So regardless, whether we're essential workers, we can go and sit with people right now. You know, all the governors say insurance, vital. You can go out there, you can help families. But we're doing telesales also. So either way, you talk to a family. The average is about $100 a month is what a family is going to spend on their insurance, life insurance, about $100 a month. If a client is writing a check every month for $100, your commission is going to be about $500. Okay, that's what the numbers work out to be. Some of our policies are a little bit more. Some of the policies are a little bit less. We just had a new agent not too long ago, probably about 4 Mondays ago, get paid a $10,500 commission on one policy, right? But it's an average. $500, about an average commission. The insurance companies will pay you that 75% of that right up front, direct deposit, Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. They will pay you 3 times. Baby. I recommend you get paid all 3 days a week, not just one of those, but all 3.
Don't pick one, do them all. Don't
pick one, get paid every single one of those 3 days. But they'll direct deposit right into your account, and then it's phenomenal. And then in months 10, 11, and 12 later down the road, that other 25% starts hitting just like clockwork. And it's a really good feeling to see all that money just dropping into your bank account. So that's how we make money on sales. But the really cool thing, this is what Belle and I, and she's going to tell you in a second, she's going to tell you a little bit more, but we wanted to build a legacy also. You know, we don't want to be 80 years old and still having to, talk to people about buying insurance. We want to create a passive income, a continuing a revenue stream that keeps going and going and going. So these insurance companies that we work with, they're massive, multi-billion dollar companies and huge companies, massive amount of cash. But they don't have stores on the corner like some of these other companies, right? They don't have a store on the corner where they're paying an hourly employee to sell insurance. What they have is us independent agents, and they have a vested interest in making sure that we grow big. Okay. And so what they have done is they allow us to bring people on board right from day one. We can bring people on board. The company will train them, right? The Alliance has the system, but when those people go out and write insurance and help families, you're paid something called an override commission. Okay. That's a commission that comes to you based on the volume of the people that you've brought into this business. So you can build this into a massive business as well. And it's phenomenal. Our manager has been with the company, I think 13 years, and she's well over $1 million a year. And she's
passive income.
In passive income.
Diane Lampy.
And she works, but she's not having to, go out and sell insurance right now. She has that team that is providing that income for her. And she started right where you're going to start, right where we started. That's where she started. So it's the exact same opportunity. In fact, it's better now than when she started by a long shot.
Gets better
and better. It keeps getting better, gooder and gooder. All right. So you can earn income that way also. And that's what fires me up because, that's where we're headed.
That's where we want to go.
So we brought some people on board here today that we're going to share with you that they're going to tell us a little bit about who they are. Good friends of ours, very successful in the business. First, I'm going to ask Belle. You haven't heard from her. You got to look at her this whole time, but you haven't got to really hear from her. she's going to share some things about her and about her story. And then we're going to switch over and we're going to bring in some other people to talk about the business.
Can you bring that screen down here?
Yeah.
So I'm just fired up to be on here today and talk with you guys. The Alliance has changed our life forever. Like Jake said, we were a military family. And on the outside looking in, we had it all. We had financial success. We had a good marriage. But what we didn't have was time together. And that was a vital missing component. And when we met in the Army, I served for 8 years. We had kids, and then it was time for me. I traded my Army stripes for baby wipes, and I stayed home and I raised the kids, and I loved it. It was a blessing to be able to do that. And Jake provided well for that at the sacrifice of him being gone all the time. So when we got to this next phase of life, we knew we wanted something more as far as the quality of life. So we had heard of people that had to either sacrifice the money or the time, but here we get to have both. Here we don't have to sacrifice that. And that fires me up more than anything. And a lot of people may wonder, well, because you had something special or you did something special. When I started part-time. We have a special needs daughter. We were homeschooling the kids. And this was something we kind of saw as like a part-time gig for some extra income to help pay for college. And it quickly grew well beyond that. So like a lot of people, we came for the money, but we stay for the mission. We stay for the passion. We stay for the culture and the hope that we can bring to not just the clients that we serve, but for the other agents and their families to have what we have found here. And that fires me up a lot. We've been here now 4 years. I've never really sold anything. I did give Mary Kay a shot when I was still in the Army because I did bomb disposal and I was around a bunch of men all the time. And I'm like, I need women in my life. And I thought that was a good way. But unfortunately, I had never read Andy's 8 Steps to Success back then. Step 1 is personal use, right? You can't sell makeup if you don't wear it. I didn't know this. Like I said, I hung out with men all the time. I was on the bomb squad. I didn't wear a lot of makeup. Anyways, I digress. So anyways, I'm very grateful for the training that I got here and the education that I got here because I know I can work hard. I know I have a heart for people. I know that I can serve the team. What I didn't know was how much time did I have on a regular basis to commit to that. So part-time, then transitioning to full-time. And just to give you an idea of what that looks like for us, let's just use the month of March as just kind of a snapshot. In March, in personal production, we did 48 applications for $42,917.56. As a team, because we've brought other people on, and you get to hear from a couple of them here in a minute, great friends. And when you're succeeding at something, even if you're not trying to bring people on, they're going to be drawn to you. They can't help it. When they see something good happening, it draws people in. Then when you're actively trying to draw people into the good thing, it works even gooder. So as a team for the month of March, when the world started losing its mind, going a little crazy, a lot of insecurity, what do we bring? We bring stability. We bring security. We bring peace of mind. The world needs what we have right now. And so as a team, we did 112 applications for $107,683.40. Now, some of you may be thinking, yeah, that was the month of March. Things weren't really as crazy as they are now. It's already changed. Let me tell you just what I did yesterday. Just yesterday. Yesterday, sitting here in my office, 10 feet from where we sit right now, I did 6 applications for $4,429.56. And the beautiful thing about the Alliance is there's no quotas, which means there's no limits, which means if I want to do 6 more applications today for another $4,430, I can do it today. I can do it tomorrow. I can do it the next day and the day after. I can do it as many days as I want, and no one's going to stop us because all those companies we talked about, Columbian Financial Group, Mutual of Omaha, Foresters, Nassau Re, Transmit, those are billion-dollar companies. They have the money to pay us. They have the money to throw at us when we're doing well. They pay for our incentive trips. They pay for I'm sorry. I get so fired up. I can't even talk anymore. So that's why they don't let me do it. Tell them about the trip real quick. I know we got to go. So, trips. We have done a couple of trips of a lifetime, all expenses paid. We've gone to Hawaii and Maui. We had a smaller trip to the Bahamas with a smaller group of friends. We have gone to Paris. We are in the Alaskan cruise and the extension in Seattle, which I have FOMO. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's fear of missing out. I have FOMO so bad that I had to win a free trip to a city I already live in. because right. I know my friends are going to be there. So I had to be a part of it. It's like your friends are coming over to your house to play, but you can't play with them. No way that's going to happen. I got to go too. So the trip that I enjoyed the most so far that we've been on was Paris, because we got to bring some great friends along with us that we brought into the business. We've known them for years, lived life alongside of them, and you'll get to hear from them in a minute. But first, I want to bring up Mimi Romero. She's out in California. She is crushing it out there. And I'm bringing her on first because this girl, she's going. She's going at the speed of light. And right after this, she's got to go help and serve some families. Mm-hmm. So Mimi, if you want to come on and just light us up here, tell us what it's been like for you the last few weeks, the last month. What do we got going on out there in California?
Awesome. Thank you, Belle and Jake, for bringing me on. Can you guys see me and hear me?
You might want to tilt your camera down just a little bit. So
okay. What about now?
Oh, yeah.
Much
perfect.
Better. Is that good? Perfect. Okay, guys, thank you for bringing me on. You guys fires me up. I was like, oh my God, the trips. When she started talking about the trip, I get excited. So thank you for bringing me on. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Jade, for this awesome opportunity. My name is Mimi. Like you guys said, I'm part of Stephen Davis Group. I've been with the Alliance for 4 years. Man, it's a life changer, like you guys said. It changed my life. Yesterday, I was talking to Belle about it. I was like, man, I don't think I can do anything else other than this, because you're growing not just with the money part, but the friendship that we make, the growth, the personal growth for me, that's huge. You know, we don't focus on the negativity of what's going on. I am fired up. So guys, just quickly about my background. Before joining the Alliance, I was working as a program manager. I used to work with kids with developmental problem like autism, ADHD, ADD, all kinds of different developmental problem. And I still get emotional talking about it because they truly do have my heart. I love what I did. I love helping people. And that love for helping people is what makes me fall in love with the Alliance, because we still do that here. I still get to continue helping people in a different sector, but still helping. That served my purpose right there. Being able to serve clients. When you go to some people's home, all they can afford is $30 a month, but you're changing their lives, you know? And then when you bring an agent in, like Belle was saying, who was struggling with money, and now you can make a difference for them, that makes me feel good. So I did the autism program managing for over 10, 12 years. Prior to that, I was working in a pharmaceutical company. My background is in biology. I have a master's in biology from UCI. I have a psychology degree as well. I love the helping people part, but I didn't like the paperwork of things. So that's my problem, guys. I didn't like paperwork. I want people. So I left the bio part of things early on, and then I get into psychology. But here, guys, it's been again changing for me, because when I got in, like you guys said, I wanted the money. That's what I wanted. They told me, well, unlimited opportunity, Belle. I was like, I'm in. How do I start it? How do I get started? And then I came for the money, but like you said, I stayed for the relationship. It's so awesome. Where you're going to go, where you're going to have the CEO's phone number, where you're going to have great friends like you guys, you know, like the Carries, Stephen Davis, Diane Limpy, all these great people. I have access to them. They help you grow even when they don't make money from you. So I stayed for the relationship, and I love that part. So while I've been here at the Alliance for the past 4 years, I went 4 trips. I went to 3 so far. Well, I'm anticipating I'm going to win Chiang Mai, so that makes it the 4th one. So I went to Hawaii. I also went to Paris with you guys, and I qualified for the Alaskan cruise, which we are going to go in 2022, and I am going to Chiang Mai. I'm so excited. Guys, those trips are so fun. You have to win them. So far this week, like Belle said, in my office where I'm at right now, I did, I think 5 apps, 7,000 so far for the week. And I'm about to go and do another one right now once I'm done with you guys. So, hey, good time, bad time, like Jake said, we still successful. We're still helping people and making money. That's all I have. I don't know if you guys have any specific question for me.
That's fantastic, Mimi. That was exactly. And I'm with you. I'm so excited for Thailand. I can't even stand it. And we just really appreciate you getting on here. And you're killing it. Good job. So.
Thank you.
I just love your heart, Mimi, as the mother of an autistic child who used, the services that you provide in your previous career were so vital to our family and the progress forward. That's the type of relationships we get to have here in the Alliance. Mm-hmm. Just amazing people with amazing backgrounds that, you're my girl. I can't travel the world without you. So let's go. Let's go.
Let's do it.
We'll let you go serve that family. Thank you for taking the time to be on. I know you're just out there rocking and rolling and making it happen. So love you.
Thank you. I love you guys too.
Okay. All right. See you, Mimi.
See you soon.
So the next person we're going to bring on is one of my best friends in the whole world. So real quick story, real funny story. The way Tim Long, he's out of Savannah, Georgia. And funny story, the way that he ended up coming to the Alliance, I didn't even actually talk to him. He saw a picture of me on Facebook in the back of a private jet. And actually, so he had seen that picture and he texted me. He said, "Yo, bro, what are you doing?" Because he flew helicopters with me in the same unit. He's the one who convinced me to join that unit, by the way. And he sent me a text that, "Hey, are you flying that aircraft or what?" And I said, "No way, man. I'm in the back of this thing." And that like blew his mind. And he ended up getting in contact with us. And now he's our,
it's amazing how this business works. We've known him and Nikki and the kids for 10 years. His son and our son were best of friends. We were neighbors in Savannah, Georgia. And it was that relationship between them where he told Jake about that elite aviation unit and changed the course of our life for the next 10 years, right? Mm-hmm. And then that relationship again comes full circle when we're talking again about another opportunity that we've had, and now they've jumped on board here because they could see what we see. We see the brotherhood, the camaraderie, the culture here. So Tim, love you and Nikki. Without further ado, light us up.
Light us up, brother.
Hey guys, thank you guys so much. Jake and Belle, I tell you, you are amazing mentors, great friends, and we couldn't ask for a better couple to be just doing life with at the same time of just being a part of this opportunity. So thank you guys for serving the team always. Thank you, Andy Albright, for the opportunity to be here and to hopefully give back a little bit to the company and to the team. Nikki and I have been in the business for, I guess in June, it'll be 2 years. And we live here in Savannah, Georgia. We've been here for 16 years. And we love the Alliance. We, like Jake said, we contacted them, or I contacted them, said, "What in the world are you doing? Why are you in the back of that jet?" And so that's a story that I'll never forget, a conversation I'll never forget. And wow, love it. So we started part-time with the Alliance. Retired from the military after 22 years as a pilot and started our own business, a consulting business. And so we started part-time just for the opportunity we loved. And after 9 months of that, realized that this is where my heart was. What I was doing was lucrative and it was serving a little, but my heart was not in it. It was a great transition job, career, way to make ends meet after transitioning out of the military. But this is where my heart is, and we absolutely love being a part of this. So just a little bit, because I know there are a lot of people on here that are just trying to figure this thing out. And can I do this? Can I be a part of this? It sounds too good to be true. Jake and Belle have been doing this, super successful. You see other leaders super successful. By the way, I like to try and associate with top leaders. If anybody has been around a little bit, recognize the background here. That's a background from somebody who I admire very much, Andy Riddle, and hit the back of his office. I normally am there once a week, travel about 2.5 to 3 hours to be around the heat, be around them and Chris Long and Brant Swindell and some other great leaders. With our shelter in place on the East Coast anyway, I know it's not for every state, we can't go. And so I feel like I get to be in Andy Riddle's office every time I'm on Zoom now. So just the association, and I get to associate still, even though they're not here. And that's one of those things that is so important with this business, is just to associate. What's great about that is everybody's accessible. And I didn't believe that when Jake and Belle told me, because they said, listen, everybody's here to help you. Everybody wants to see you succeed. And I'm like, yeah, sure. No companies like that. There's some backstabbing. There's this, there's that. And it's just because you guys are nice and we love y'all. We've known you forever. Well, Nikki and I took a trip to corporate soon after. Andy invited us up there and they rolled out the red carpet. We hadn't even gotten our license yet. I'm like, what in the world? And just have developed some great relationships with people at corporate because of that first impression there, that people at the Alliance do want to see you succeed. And we didn't know what the heck we were doing. All I had was, on the drive to Burlington, we got an email saying, hey, here's your license. Good job. Now go make some money, go help some families. And so anyway, long story short, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Nobody who starts this knows what the heck they're doing. And that's okay, because we're around the right people to teach us, who care about us. And it wasn't just Jake and Belle, thankfully, to my surprise. Yes, they're my number one go-to people because I love them and I trust them, and they just so happen to bring me into the business. But some of the quick successes I like to share, because, again, never sold anything, never recruited anything. 5 months into the business, we earned our first all-expense-paid trip with the Alliance to Paris, and we got to have champagne. I think the first or second night we were there with Jake and Belle on the top of the Eiffel Tower. First night, incredible. And then, sure enough, we get to go on an Alaskan cruise in 2 years with them also, that we were going to do in June. Thanks to COVID, we'll just get to be excited about it for a little bit longer. And now we're a quarter of the way into the year, and we are halfway to earning the Thailand trip. So it's not easy. I almost said it's easy. It's not easy. It's work. But guess what? I'm sitting at my desk right now working. Okay. It's not hard work. It's just serving people. And that's what we get to do every day. And as long as your heart is in the right place, then you're going to be successful. And we talk about the law of large numbers. Just keep doing what we do. Just keep serving families. Just keep connecting with people, and you're going to be successful. Andy Albright says it all the time. 100% successful as long as you don't quit. And that is true. You could be terrible at this. And guess what? If you call enough people, you're going to be successful. Guaranteed. And so a sign of the times right now, right? So last month happened to be the month that I wrote the most I've ever written. I didn't actually we didn't get that all in place yet. A lot of it carried over to this month, but I wrote the most I'd ever written last month. Guess what happened last month? The last 2 weeks, we were transitioning to telesales. We were transitioning to, oh my gosh, the sky's falling and people were worried about the coronavirus and this. And so during those 2 weeks, I floundered. The 2 weeks before that, great weeks, wrote the most I'd ever written. My point to all that is now, floundered 2 weeks. Everybody's trying to figure out telesales and how we're going to do this. We are a company full of overcomers. We are a company full of people who adapt and overcome. And I was so fired up to see every top leader in this company getting on Zoom and saying, this works, this doesn't work, say this, send this, do this. And it was for everybody's ears. It wasn't for just the top leaders. It was for everybody. And that just showed that we get to be on the ground floor of this company again, as we're kind of getting a restart or a reboost. Not that we needed it, super successful, but we're adapting immediately. Last week, after 2 weeks of floundering and listening to all the leaders like Jake and Belle and so many people just killing it, it's my biggest week I've ever had. $11,878, I think, is what I wrote. And it's just because I got to serve families. It's just and that's obviously I'm getting passionate like Belle. That's because it's just it's amazing to be able to serve somebody when they think that they can't even get insurance, or it's been something that's been on their shoulders for years, and they finally got it taken care of, and they don't have to worry about that anymore. And we get to be a small part of that. So, telling you about some of these successes is a little uncomfortable for me, honestly. And I wrote down a couple of notes of things I wanted that were on my heart just a few minutes before we jumped on here. And that's, for whatever reason, that's what God was telling me, to share some of that, because somebody on this call needs to see, hey, I'm brand new. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, or I'm just feeling this out. I don't even know if I'm going to do this yet. But if I can do this, anybody can do this. I haven't even really started my week yet of helping families. I've been a lot of doing other things in the business and some family time at the beginning of the week. And let's see, today I've written $2,942 in annual premium, and I'm just getting rolling. Got to serve the team a little bit with some new people that were on a Zoom call while I did live appointments. And that was a great thing to be able to train and make money and serve families at the same time. This week I've written over $5,100, and that's just this person contacted me or whatever. I hadn't really even started dialing until today. My second contact, using the great leads that we have in the Alliance, somebody answered, mortgage protection. I spent about 2 hours with them, and then finished writing the apps afterwards while I was teaching and training the team, sent them off. So I didn't even get to make very many dials today, but already made a couple $1,000s today, and I've dialed the phone 12 times. So the first 10 people, they weren't there, and they were people that I was trying to just link back up who, for whatever reason, they wanted some more coverage or whatever. So dial number 2 made over $2,000 today. Nothing special I did except built a relationship with the young lady on the other end and took some weight off her shoulders. And that's what we get to do. So I'm telling you, if you're contemplating this, it's not for everybody. But guess what? It is not. If you like people, and this is what I tell people when I'm working on building our team, if you like people, if you're passionate about people, you're trainable, and you're not afraid to work hard, this is a great place for you, because like Belle said, the sky's the limit. And so right people, right place, right time, right products. Andy Albright is continually innovating and working with the carriers, creating new ways to make our job easier and provide a better product to serve our clients. And you know what? If you don't try it out, I got nothing to gain from you trying and starting with the Alliance. But if you don't try, you're never going to know. If I never applied for flight school, my lifelong dream, I applied when I was 19 and went right to flight school. But if I had never done that, I could look back now at 45 and say, man, I wonder what that would have been like. Our family, Nikki and I, began to finally dream again because we're here at the Alliance. So thanks for having me, Jake and Belle. Love being here.
All right, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Hey, we love you guys, and thank you so much for being on, sharing your heart, and really appreciate you guys. Can't wait to go to Thailand with you guys next year. So if you're on this call and somebody invited you to be on this call, I'm just going to encourage you, get with that person, talk to the person who invited you. They'll fill in all the blanks that we didn't cover, and just get with them, and they're going to give you all the information that you need. I hope you come on board, and welcome to the company.
Just come with us. Like Tim said, learn to dream again, learn to hope again, succeed again. Sky's the limit. Come with us. We're going. Come with us.
We're out.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.